Now we are ready for Word 2019 Module 6, End of Module Project 1, Historic Planning Commission, and we are going to perform a mail merge with a new recipient list. First thing we need to do is save this, so I'm going to enable editing. Go up to File and do a Save As. I'm going to save mine on my desktop so I can find it later. And I'm going to change this 1 to a 2 and save. First thing we are asked to do in this mail merge is to save our document in the portrait, aids, page formatting. So I'm going to come up here in my layout and my orientation. Right now we're in landscape, and we're going to make this the traditional portrait orientation document. We have these 5 paragraphs right here: restoration project, down to the Thomas Addison's house, and we want to make that into a table. So we're going to first select that text, and under the Insert tab we have our tables. If I click on that table, you can see one of my options is to convert text to table. So we don't have to retype this text, we can just convert it to a table. We want to leave it at the 2 columns. We want them to be a fixed column width, make it automatic, and separate them at the tabs. We're going to say OK. And so you can see we have our table here, and it wants us to apply the custom letterhead table style to the table. So with our table selected, we have our table formatting tabs up here, and right over here on table styles I'm going to select the More option. And up here at the very top we have our custom, we have a financial table, and we also have a letterhead table, and we want this letterhead table just to make it look nice. Now we're ready to get into the nitty-gritties of a mail merge. Now mail merge will really help you save a lot of time. If you have a form letter, you're sending it out to a lot of different people. It takes a little bit of time to set it up, but once you have it set up, then it's just a matter of printing the papers, and it's going to put the inside address right in there for you, a greeting line. It's going to make some other changes automatically to the document depending upon your mail list, and we are actually going to create a mail list for this project. So the first thing we need to do is come up here under mailings, and there's a lot of different things we can choose from, but we want to do the Start Mail Merge, and we are going to use the nice little step-by-step mail merge wizard. So if you just have a basic mail merge, this is just what you're wanting, we're just going to do the step-by-step. It's literally going to walk us through this. Our document type, we want it to be a letter document. So we're going to come down here and go to the Next. We want to use our current document that we have on our display right here. And now we're going to select Recipients. We don't have an existing list. We want to type a new list. See, one of our options is also to select from Outlook. So if you've got an Outlook list with addresses, you can use that as well, or just if you just want to email it to a lot of people, which I do a lot in my work. We're just going to type a new list for this one, and we're going to create it. So you can see we have a new address list right away. Down here in our bottom, we have Customize Columns, and I can click on this Customize Columns, and you can see all of the columns that are in our address list. Now in our instructions, it wants us to customize the column by deleting some fields, and we want to delete the country or region. So I'm just going to come down here and select country or region and then delete and say yes. I want to delete the home phone. Delete. Yes. I want to delete the work phone. Delete. Yes. And then I want to delete this email address. Delete. Yes. We're also asked to make some changes to some of the names in our fields. So this company name, we want it to be organization name. So I'm going to select company name, choose rename, and then make it organization name. Make sure you spell everything correctly, guys. And zip code, if you need to, it needs to say postal code. Yours might already say postal code. Mine doesn't, so I need to rename this to postal code. Say OK. We also want to add another field to our list. So I'm going to come over here to where it says Add, and I want to add a field called Specialty. OK. Now I'm ready to say OK. Now I'm ready to enter the information. In step 4 of our instructions, we have 2 recipients that we need to add into our table here. And you're just going to tab and move across to enter the information. As you're entering the information, pay attention to your spelling and your punctuation. If you misspell something, then Cengage is going to assume it's not even there, so you won't even get any points with it. So I'm going to click up here in the first one, and I'm going to start typing the information in. After you have the first one entered in, we're going to hit New Entry. Make sure you only have 2 lines. If you have 3, like you see on my list here, we need to hit Delete Entry and delete this entry. And just make sure you only have 2 here, and then start typing in the next one. After you have them both entered, then you're going to say OK. And it wants you to now save your list. I just named mine Historic Planning Commission, so I'm just going to type it in here again. And say Save. And it's going to ask me if I want to replace it. So this is the way you can update your list. I'm just going to say Yes. And then here is my list, and I'm going to say OK. And now I'm ready to continue to step 4 of my Mail Merge Wizard. So over here in my Mail Merge Wizard, I'm going to click Next, Write Your Letter. So now we are going to make some changes into our letter. Over here, we have click here to select date. So I'm going to click on this down arrow, and a calendar is going to pop up. And this is our placeholder text. We want to select the date March 12th, 2021. So I'm going to click on this arrow here to go to March of 2021. And then I'm going to choose March 12th. Then we want to put in an address block. Now remember we made that mail merge lists? Well, each one of those fields is a block, and we want to add an address block here. So instead of insert inside address, we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to put in an address block merge. And what's really nice about our Mail Merge Wizard is right over here on our navigation pane, we have an address block. So here is our address block. It's going to put in from that list we just made. So I'm going to click Address Block. And we have different formats we can use. We want to use the default one here, Mr. Joshua Randall Jr. And then the company name. Remember we changed the name of that field, so we need to match it. So we're going to come over here to correct this situation. We're going to match fields. And so instead of the company, we don't have that matched anymore because we changed that name. So we're going to just click on this arrow here and change that to organization name. And Let's see. We're going to say OK. Then we're going to come back over here and say OK again. Now we're ready to add a greeting line. So our document. So do we want it to say, hey there, or dear Mr. and Mrs.? What do we want it to say? So we're going to, again, delete this text that's here. And over here in our navigation pane, we're going to choose greeting line. And we want the one that says, Dear Mr. Randall. So this is the format that we want. And we're just going to, we don't need to worry about matching anything. Everything is set. And then we're just going to say OK. So now it's going to automatically put our mailing list names in here in the greeting line. In our first block, in our first paragraph, you can see in this second sentence here, I invite you to submit information about organization name. Remember, we have that organization name block. So we can delete this text in our field, and we're going to have it pick up the organization name that goes with the person that this letter is going to. So over here in our navigation pane, we have more items, and we want to click the organization name field and say insert and close, because that's what we want to go in this location on our in our letter. In our last paragraph, we want to do the same thing with the specialty. Remember, we created the specialty field, and we want that to automatically populate here in our mail merge. So we're going to delete this text here, come over here to more items, choose specialty, and insert, and then close. One of the neat things that we can do with the mail merge is we can actually put some rules with it. And in this case, we want our clients to know if they live in Virginia, they can also apply for a state expansion grant. But we only want to put that if they live in Virginia. So we can actually put a rule in. So we're going to move our insertion point after this last line here. And then up here in our mailings tab, we have rules. We're going to click on that. And then we have this if, then, else rule. That's the one we want to select. So we're going to choose that. The field we want it to look at is the state name. If they live in Virginia. So if the state is equal to Virginia, remember we used the 2-letter abbreviations. If that is true, then we want to insert the text. So we're going to type that text in here because your business is located in Virginia. So I've got the sentence entered in here. Make sure you spell everything correctly and that you use the correct punctuation. And so now I'm going to say OK. So that is only going to show up if the person the particular letter is going to resides in Virginia. So those are the changes that we're going to make to our letter. So now we're going to preview our letters. So you can see here it's going to put our client name and address in, Dear Miss Lopez. You can see down here in the paragraph, I invite you to submit information about historic designs. So we've got their organization name. Then down here at the bottom, we've got their specialty. Be sure to emphasize your specialty of historic architecture. She does not live in Virginia, so we don't have any other information here. So we want to edit our recipient list. We want them to actually print out in order of last name. So we're going to sort, and we're going to sort by the last name, and we want them in ascending order. I'm going to say OK, and then OK. And so now you can see we've got Mr. Kahn first here, and because he lives in Virginia, see now we have that because your business is located in Virginia sentence. So we don't have to worry, did we get that on that guy's letter? It's automatically going to be in there if he lives in Virginia. Okay, so now we are going to complete the merge. So we're going to click and we're going to edit individual letters. And actually we want them merging to all. We want to see everything. So we're going to say OK. So here are our two letters that are going to go out to Mr. Jamel Khan and Ms. Linda Lopez. You can see how this would really save you a lot of time if you have a lot of people that you're sending letters out to. And what's really awesome with this is that if you needed to do emails instead of letters, you can do that as well. And your emails are going to automatically be populated and it's going to send out, and it'll actually automatically even send them for you. So you just have to hit the one button. So it'll really save you a lot of time. Now, what we need to do in order to submit this in Cengage is a little different. The first thing we're going to do is press Control-A to select everything you see here, both pages. So I'm going to hit Control-A. That's going to select all. And then I need to copy this to the clipboard. So I'm just going to hit Control-C to copy. The next thing I need to do is to bring up my original document here. And over here on the second page, I'm just going to click and put my insertion point at the top of the second page. And I'm going to hit Control-V to paste. And it's going to paste my two letters in there. Now it wants us to get rid of this blank fourth page so that we're only actually submitting 3 pages. So I'm just going to hit delete, backspace, and delete. Until I get that page gone. So now I have my 3 pages. You'll notice this very first one we have Jamel Khan twice. That's because we're previewing results. Remember, we pasted the second 2 letters in. If we come up here to our tab where it says preview results, if we select that to turn that off, here is our original letter. So you can see we have the date, we have our address block here, here's our greeting line block, our organization name block, and our specialty block. So we have all that in here. So we want to turn off the preview of the mail merge. Now we want to save this document. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to hit my save icon, and I'm going to close my document. I can close my mail merge, and I don't need to save that, so I'm just going to say don't save. Back at my Cengage, I'm going to hit continue. I'm going to upload. I'm going to find my document that I created. Make sure the name matches. Hit submit. And I'm going to view my report. See how I did. And I got 100 out of 100. If your score is lower, go back, review the video again, review the chapter, make sure you do the training, and if you're not happy with your grade, if you're in my class, you can submit it up to 10 times to improve that grade. Have a great day.